and to see exactly what it does to me after not having had any caffeine or stims in over a month. I feel amped, okay? I feel great, I feel amazing. It's so strong compared to what I thought. I am quite pumped. Coach Greg, and for the last 25 plus years, I've consumed caffeine nearly every single day of my life and in large quantities. It's a very well-studied ergogenic aid, can help you burn fat and improve exercise performance. But I decided to go a month without consuming any caffeine or any stimulants of any kind. It wasn't because I had bad health or I needed to prove something to myself. I was told by the doctor, you can't drink caffeine, you're doing hair transplant surgery. Then I had surgery for my elbow yet again, and so I was told, you can't train your arm, you can't do cardio, you can't do this, can't. And so I said, what is the point of taking all this caffeine, pre-workouts now, if I'm only going to be training half-assed in the gym? Of course, I never gave up anything. Imagine me quitting for a month. The hair transplant surgery said, don't do any cardio or lift weights for a month. No, are you kidding? I'd rather go bald, and in fact, I like being bald. So I'm not going to take a month off to the gym just because I'm supposed to for hair transplant surgery. But with the elbow surgery to reattach my tricep tendon, I had to go easier in the gym. Couldn't use my arm, I'm in a sling, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna train without caffeine. So I said, why not? Let's do this for an entire month and see what happens. And so let's start with the pros, the good stuff. Well, I did find it easier to fall asleep and had better nights of sleep. When you're drinking caffeine or other stimulants, it's often harder to go to sleep and harder to stay asleep. So by cutting out all stimulants, I did in fact notice that I had better, more quality nights of sleep. And what else did I notice was positive? Nothing else was good. Everything else sucked. Sorry, telling you the truth, what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You want to hear, oh, after a few days I was fine, it's great, you don't need caffeine. Oh, why would you ever take it? Never experienced that at all. I did have better nights of sleep, but here are the negatives. Number one, headaches. For the first several days, and this is before the surgery, I wasn't taking caffeine, I was getting headaches. Going to the gym, headache in morning, afternoon, always getting a headache. Number two, lack of energy. Felt like I was dragging my ass all the time. I didn't want to do things. I wanted to just sit around. And when I did go to the gym and when I did train, I found it harder to get in the groove, harder to get motivated. Just didn't have the same drive as I had before. Motivation. I found I was less motivated to do everything. Working, making videos, going to the gym, I just had less drive to do what I want. When I do take caffeine, I notice that I'm more spirited, feeling good, in a positive mood, and I just want to go do stuff. And when I went to the gym without caffeine, it took me a lot longer to get into it. Once I did enough cardio, enough warm-ups, I started to get into it and felt better. But before, with caffeine or pre-workout, it was as if I wanted to get to the gym, I couldn't wait. Without the caffeine, I still went to the gym, but I kind of had to make myself go. It wasn't as enjoyable as it once was. It took longer to get in the mood, but once I was 10 minutes into my warm-up and starting to do some of my sets, I would then get into it, and I could in fact still have a great workout. And I should point out that although I wasn't taking a pre-workout, I was taking a pre-pump workout, my own, beta-alanine and creatine, all these things, but I wasn't taking a stimulant. And so because I wasn't taking any stimulants, I wasn't as motivated to get into the gym. But once I got there and was warming up, I was in fact able to get a great workout. My advice, if you're not taking caffeine versus if you are taking caffeine, I think it's important to get to the gym no matter what and to ensure that you do a warm up. If you're not motivated to get to the gym and you don't take caffeine, please do 10 minutes of cardio and allow yourself time to get warm and to feel it. You might not want to go there, but once you get into the gym and get going, you might have a change of heart. And so please don't just skip the gym just because you're not motivated. The next, weight gain. That's right. Notice the scale going up, not down. I do believe that caffeine causes a slightly dehydrating effect and it causes you to pee out water. So when I stopped taking caffeine, no pre-workout, my body was then holding on to more water. I was more bloated, never looked as lean, had a bit more water under skin, so I do believe that caffeine has a dehydrating effect. The next con that I noticed, it's very difficult to get beverages that don't have caffeine. Every time I went to a restaurant, I wanted to get a diet pop that didn't have caffeine. It's next to impossible. Rarely did they have Diet 7-Up or anything without caffeine. At home, I can easily get caffeine-free Diet Coke, but in restaurants, very difficult. Also, when trying to get decaf at a restaurant, very hard to get. In Turkey, had a hard time getting decaf coffee. All I wanted to do was drink coffee, had to have it decaf, obviously. And so many restaurants don't carry that in Turkey as well as in Canada. I've gone to restaurants in Canada here, asked for decaf. Sorry, we just don't have any. And what about my home life? Well, we have a coffee maker. Ali wants to drink coffee with caffeine and me without it. So who wins? Well, considering I drink about 4 a day and she drinks 1 maybe, then I use caffeine-free beans. Ali wanted caffeine, but what can you do? And so in case you're wondering, I used to drink regular coffee all the time and I switched to half caffeine, half decaf so that I had less caffeine than before. I was getting in on taking close to 1 gram of caffeine a day, which is far more than you should be taking in for your health. So what I did is I went from having fully decaffeinated coffee to half and half to decaf coffee. And what do I plan to do from now on? I'm going to continue to have the decaf coffee. I'm going to selectively use caffeine before training, but not try to use it at all times. Occasionally I'll drink a coffee, but not all the time. And so what I've read is that at my weight, I shouldn't be taking in more than 500 milligrams of caffeine per day. So rather than abusing caffeine, I'm going to use so in moderation in my pre-workout before training. Another thing I notice is that when you're not drinking caffeine, things aren't as fun as they are as when you are drinking caffeine. Caffeine is a drug and it does release dopamine. And so oftentimes me and Ali will go out and buy a coffee and do certain things and it perks you up, makes you feel good. Without the caffeine in it, it's just not quite the same thing. I'm still drinking the coffee, but I'm not getting the caffeine to go with it. And this is my opinion and feel free to disagree. Caffeine makes my day brighter. I just love it. I really like the feeling of caffeine. It is a drug, and perhaps I was abusing it in the past, but I have shown that I can go a month without taking it. And when I use it again, I'm going to use so in moderation. Combining caffeine with certain activities, it just makes them more enjoyable for me. When I'm racing the bike and take caffeine, I just enjoy racing it more. I feel like I can push a little bit harder. I still race effectively without it. Even though I have that flu that starts with the C, I'm still racing bikes even without caffeine. I even won one. So clearly I'm doing pretty good if I can race with a flu and win the race without caffeine. But caffeine makes it more enjoyable, and I think it makes me a bit faster. And so what's the take-home message? Well, my opinion is it's okay to use caffeine, just do so in moderation. Don't abuse it, save it for when you need it. If you take it all the time, you can become dependent on it. And if you're addicted to caffeine and you try to go without it, you're probably gonna experience headaches, you won't have as much energy, you won't be as motivated, but you're probably gonna get a better night of sleep. And so later today, I'm going to take 3/4 of 1 scoop of my pre-workout. Normally I use 1.5 scoops, so I'm going to take exactly half of what I used to take. And so we're going to see what exactly will half of my usual dose do for me. Am I going to be as stimulated? Is it going to feel as good? Am I going to notice it? Is it going to be through the roof? Oh my goodness, what is happening right now? Can't wait to find out. It's been over a month, no caffeine pre-workouts. Going to see what it does to me.
Coach Greg.
3/4 of a scoop. I weighed it out to be accurate. It's 12 grams. I'm going to take 3/4 of a scoop. Normally I take 1.5 scoops. Going to see exactly what it does to me after not having had any caffeine or stims in over a month. So 3/4 a scoop. And there we have it. Excited. It's so good. I miss the taste. I have no way of knowing, but I'm going to guess that by drinking 3/4 a scoop, I'm going to notice it just as much as 1.5 scoops. I don't know. I'm just trying to predict the future. And I'm not on an empty stomach. I had 2 massive wraps about 15 minutes ago. And so I do have a full stomach, but I do feel that 3/4 a scoop is enough. I could have started with the 1.5 scoops that I normally take, but I don't want to go crazy. I'm being safe. And so my advice to you, and the same advice I give to my friends on a Saturday night, just do half just to be safe. Just do half. I'm going to check in about 30 minutes. There'll be enough time before the bike race.
10 seconds later.
Okay, I know I said I'd take 30 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. I can feel it a lot already. It's been 10 minutes and I feel more amped than I felt in a month. Like literally already. Like I can tell that was for sure enough. Like probably didn't even need that much, maybe even half a scoop. So here's my advice. If you haven't taken pre-workout before, don't even start with 1 scoop. Start with half. Just do half because I'm telling you, it is powerful stuff. Because I've taken so much caffeine and stims for well over 20 years, my body got so used to it. Now that I haven't had any, it's intense. 3/4 a scoop. It's a lot. So please start small. And if you need more, go up.
1 pair of pants later.
Okay, about 30 minutes has gone by, getting ready for the race. I'm amped, I'm feeling psyched. Normally, I'd be kind of crawling down and being like, I'm gonna warm up and feel better. Right now, I just wanna go, I wanna race, I'm pumped. I actually feel more excited, like even my voice, I feel amped, okay? I feel great, I feel amazing. I think I could have done less, probably half a scoop would have been enough. So next time you're in doubt, just do half. Just do half. And in case you're wondering what I drank during this 50-kilometer race, it is EA Hydrate. I just put 1 scoop in this water bottle, about 3/4 of a cup, or about 3/4 of a liter, and I'm gonna drink that during the race. And no, you don't need BCAAs and all this stuff, but it's flavored, it tastes good, it's amazing. I like it. I take it every single day. Makes me drink more. It's good for me. And if you're in a cut, perhaps it can help. If you're eating enough protein, doesn't, but whatever. Time to go race. And so I am quite pumped. Just finished the race. First place. 107 people. There's my first race done. Pre-workout. What a difference. I was motivated the entire time. I felt like going faster. I felt great. It's a long race, almost 50 kilometers. And I won the sprint. I took off 500 meters to go. Of course, I got my beta alanine. Let you buffer that lactic acid. Could just go harder. And I won by 1 second. 1 second. That's all it takes, difference between first place medal and not winning. If it's worth it for you, go for it. If not, you don't need it. I raced all month with nothing. Still went hard. It took me more to get motivated. I had to warm up longer. A little bit more internal strength, willpower. Pre-workout, caffeine, just motivates you that much more. Just makes it a bit easier. It's an edge. It's on top of your food and diet and sleep, of course. It's an extra bonus. Same as if you take testosterone. It's extra. It's not to replace anything. It's for those looking for that extra boost in energy, performance, building more muscle, recovering better, looking better, feeling better, all that stuff. If it's worth it, go for it. If it's not, you don't need it. I just proved it. Been on caffeine, high doses, close to 1 gram, many days for over 25 years, never taken a break. Month off. I still did it with my broken arm and my hair transplant surgery. And I still trained. I still found a way to get it done. I didn't stop, I didn't quit, I didn't give up. And I did it without a stimulant, without the caffeine. So you can say all you want. If you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. You'll do it. If you want to get supplements to help, that's on top of your own inner drive, your own desire to be the best that you can be. I want to be the best I can be. It's a passion. I love it. Gets me out of the bed every single day, something to look forward to be excited about. I did bodybuilding competitions, 59 powerlifting, so many contests. Always had a reason to get up, to look forward to have a goal. Now, I'm 46. I'm not on cycles. Believe whatever you want. I'm on my 140 milligrams of test a week from my doctor. That's it. And I find a way to get it done. I do. Without this, without bike riding, without working out, without having a goal to do something, life for me would be more boring. I wouldn't be as excited. And I had one wish. One wish would be for people around the world to love exercise as much as I do. I feel so bad when people just don't want to get out of bed. They don't want to get off the couch. They don't want to do cardio, to lift weights, to do something. They don't have joy from movement. Movement alone. Our bodies are put on this earth to explore the world. And some people, they just don't enjoy that. And for me, that is so sad. I was a phys ed teacher for 11 years. Every day my goal was to find a kid that doesn't like being active and to show them that it can be fun and to get them to want to do it for the rest of their life. So please, find your reason why. Find an activity that you enjoy and learn to like it, cherish it, keep doing it for the rest of your life. And just in case you're wondering how I did in the end here, so this is a sprint at the end. This number in orange, that's the watts that I did. At the top, that's the time. That's the best ever for that amount of time. This is a long sprint, so you can see we're at 1,000 plus watts here. So there's 1,001 watts for 24 seconds. And then as it goes along, best. That means today was in fact my all-time best record for sprinting, 29 seconds at 970. And you can see as the time goes on, there it's still a best. So 30 seconds, I did 964 watts for that time after over an hour of racing to win that. And as you can see, the time keeps going. So it's still a best, it's a PR here. So some time has passed. I finished the race and I felt so good after doing it that I rode an extra 25 minutes. So normally I'd finish the race and you cool down 5 or 10 minutes, but I was like, I just feel good. I just want to keep riding. So it actually encouraged me to go that much further. So if you think of how it can actually help you burn more calories, you're more motivated to keep the exercise going. You can go at a higher pace, burn more calories per minute. Better butter burner, as in you're burning more calories per minute that you're riding. So during that effort, I burnt more calories and I was motivated to go longer. I'm not hungry at all, like zero. Like I have no hunger right now. So my appetite is quite low. And when you do exercise like this, high intensity exercise, many of you have heard of HIIT cardio and you think you burn so many more calories because of the afterburn, post-exercise oxygen consumption, that you're burning all these calories after. It's actually higher when you do longer bouts of cardio at a high pace. So that hour and a half plus that I rode the bike, I'm going to burn more calories like right now that I'm sitting around than if I had done like 20 minutes of HIIT cardio where you go hard for say, like 30 seconds or a minute, whatever, sprint, like go really hard and then like go slower for a while, recover and then sprint and recover. Going for an hour plus hard, like, moderate pace or hard, has more calories burned in this aftermath. Well, I can't say proven, but it's been shown in studies that this is the truth. So many of you are just overestimating how many calories you're burning in HIIT cardio. I burn 1,160 calories. Do you know how much HIIT cardio you'd have to do to burn that? It's a lot. If I had been sprinting on the bike for a minute and then rode really slow for 5 minutes and kept doing it, probably would have taken 2 hours to burn that many calories. And it's not going to burn all these special magic calories afterwards. So just do your moderate intense cardio. And if you're trying to race bikes and be a high performance athlete, then yeah, do some HIIT cardio, do some sprints. I'm obviously doing them, but I'm in a freaking race. If you're just a regular person just wanting to lose weight, don't need to do it. More likely to get injured. Save that for later when you're advanced. Anyway, just thought I'd wrap that up by showing you some of the watts, PRs, the fact that I in fact set a record. This is not a today record. This is in my whole life, I've never done that. Okay, that is awesome. In a race, not fresh. This is after an hour of riding with 100 riders. There were 38 riders in that sprint. I had to beat 38 other people that were there. I was tired when I started. So imagine if I was fresh, probably would have done 100 more watts. Anyway, those of you who are numbers people, you'll appreciate that. If you didn't, just all you need to know is I did good.
Coach Greg.
Hopefully you found this video useful. If you've been without caffeine for a while, please share your experience. I can't wait to read it. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IB Pro. Bloops over there. Please watch those. Hard and last time supplements, including what I talked about. And testosterone. Don't forget about that. Click the link in the description. Circle Dive book, cookbook, coach by me and my team. Subscribe. Click the bell button. Until next time, I'm out.